Johnny Davis live. There is a saying, and never give up. And we have the one and only Crew Paul right there. She's right there out of New Bern, North Carolina. We're getting ready to do a little workout, guys. We've been working on this only for about 3 or 4 hours. Don't worry about it. Just time, right? Having a good time and all. But we want to talk with you a little bit about elbow strikes and knee strikes today. And what I want you guys to understand is that, who don't know me, I used to be a two-time world kickboxing champion in the American kickboxing rule style, where all kicks were above the waist. Now, since that time, I've gotten into other styles, kicking the legs and some elbows and stuff too, which I'll show you what I do know. But what happens is that I have an American names. I have American names for these strikes, right? And so what Master Kupal is going to do for us today is that she is going to give us the actual Thai names and a little bit more of the meaning of what this is all about. I'm excited about this. I've been excited. She's been excited too about this. My daughter's also excited, right? This is my daughter, Jonna, right? There she go over there. She's gonna be working with us a little bit today. So it's just a lot of fun, guys. If you want to work out with us, we're going to give you time to do that. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay now. We did have a few technical issues earlier as far as the sound. Hopefully, I'm coming across already. But before we get too deep in it, let me first introduce the owner of Nine Limb Strikers out of New Bern, North Carolina. She's an assistant grand master with the Muay Thai organization. She can explain that in more detail. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Kru Paul. How are you, Kru Paul?
สวัสดีค่ะ So I'm doing great, other than, stuck home, but I love being home. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just hanging in there, trying to make sure that we stay safe and keeping the family safe and doing the things that we need to do. So overall, just really trying to follow whatever the guidelines that are out there. During this time it's a great time to get a little extra workout in to learn some more knowledge. I thought this was a great opportunity for my daughter and I to learn a little bit more about the authentic Muay Thai knees and elbows. And we know that you are the right one to teach us. I think one of the things I wanted to maybe help educate people on, and again, if anybody's out there and want to work out with us, we're going to actually show you these techniques and work them on the bag and give you a little bit of time to work with us. So if you're out there right now, you hear it okay. Hopefully you'll say hello to us. I know we've been on about 2 or 3 times today, but hope you'll come on and say hello so we can know that everything is coming across okay. But come on, take some time to tell us a little bit about your background.
My program, well, at first I started as a fighter. I moved to New Bern, North Carolina, and I started program early on. It was for me to work out and to stay in shape. I do move here with homesick, right? It is a long story, but anyway, when I opened my club, Nine Limb Strikers program have become, I want to give local athletes some opportunity to fight, and that's when I reach out to you for point kickboxing, because local athletes, they have never heard of Muay Thai before, and they don't really have proper training. Some of them do, but majority of new students, they don't. So they wish to start somewhere. So I found that the closest place that have full room Muay Thai is very far away. So it has to be like 3 days trip. And I found, okay, a point kickboxing really useful, and especially my fighter really new and never fight before. And that's when I reached out to Johnny Davis. For first couple years, it has been trying to create fighters, good fighters and champions. And I think after a year and a half back or so, I start to found myself have passion about kids.
Right.
I noticed that I have a heart for kid where like I would wake up in the morning and knowing, wow, I'm gonna run kid class today.
Oh, wow.
I really am looking forward for that. I have been telling parents and the kid, look, this is the highlight of my day. Well,
Wow.
teaching Muay Thai, I still loving it, right? But it shift from trying to build fighter and trying to get the fitness aspect in to like this really good. I mean, I love these kids. They really make my day. So
Right. And so you also started when you were a kid, correct?
yes, it's
How
very
old were you
different.
when you started?
About 5, 6 years old. I do
Wow.
have I do have parents that come to me and said, I want my daughter to be as good as you are. I want my
Right.
daughter to be a world champion. Can you train her like the way you were taught?
That's not going to work.
You don't even know. You don't even know what you asked for.
So the bamboo sticks are real.
Yes, it is real. It's not just bamboo, just whatever the instructor can find.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I would have been up in jail in no time if I were to train how I were taught growing up. So,
So what I want to do today, though, I want to talk a little bit about your weapon. You like elbows and knees, and I know you can do all the kicks and punches too. But today the subject is about the elbows and the knees. Why is that a weapon of choice for you?
well, it's a blessing, I would say. I grew up, I was not a healthy kid. And
Mm,
I found that I had lupus.
right.
Uh, what it do is has something to do with my red blood cell, is my white blood cell. And I found myself, it doesn't matter how hard I train. I can outdo all of my friends, my team's
Right.
training. I can outdo that training. But the cardio doesn't seem to be there. Uh,
Mm,
so I can talk to you like normal, and in the sudden I have bad day where like I cannot go out and be in the sun for a long period of time.
right.
And also, when I start fighting, I realize I get tired really fast.
Mm,
At first, my instructor kind of gave me a hard time on that and thought I slack on training. You know, you don't have cardio, you must have been lazy, so on and so forth. And
so
then,
how did the elbows and the knees get into that?
oh yes, sorry, I got really long
No,
story.
that's okay. That's okay.
Um, I blank out in no time. For
Whoa.
there will be times like the first round, my vision is okay. First of all, my
Okay.
vision is okay, but when I get into the fight, brutal fight, doesn't matter how hard I train, I blank out and I could not see my opponent. Um, I I can kind of like a see like a vision, like you know how like a shadow, but I cannot judge the distance. How
Right.
far am I between me and my opponent? And that could
Mm,
happen in like just first round. It just happened.
right.
So uh, my instructor and I had a talk, and we came down to okay, if you cannot judge the distance between you and your opponent, use elbows, use knee, because those, you know, if I can touch my opponent gloves, I know where she's at.
Right.
If I can touch my opponent gloves, I can check the range. I can guesstimate the range. But if I do long range, period, said I just do boxing, right, or I just do kicks,
Right.
I have very low chance to go home with that win because I cannot judge the range when it's come down to that. So instead of taking that as come down and hurting your feeling or blame on your life, look. I have came across so many instructors that taught me some great elbow trick, great knees, and great clean because my life really depend on it.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's really depend on it. Like if I can grab a hold of you, you're not getting out of it because that's my chance to win this fight.
Oh, so you really relied a lot on the clinch and working elbows and knees.
Yes,
So when you grab a hold of somebody, that's pretty much it, right?
that's very much it. I know right away. Most of the time when I grab my opponent, I grab a hold of her, right? I know right away she is not getting out of this. So, well, Johnny,
I think I saw a little bit of Eye of the Tiger come. You see, the kind of got mean there for a second. Didn't it? Whoa, is this a little fighter right here? But
um,
you know, it's so interesting that you say that because you're strong. People don't know how strong you are because you're tiny, right? But you know, I remember like at some point at a tournament or something, I walked up to you and I kind of hey, and I kind of just pushed, and you was like boom. I'm like, good lord. I mean, it was like a rock. So you know, so that strength that you used in that clinch helped you probably have stronger knees and elbows. Correct? Correct?
I think it's create better timing. It's better timing. It's just how you time the distance and maneuver your opponent to set up for the strike.
Okay.
Um, so I want to look at that way. The clinching, you don't really use the power. You use kind of like momentum.
Oh,
So
yes.
so I wouldn't say I'm strong. I just like just learn how to maneuver with my opponent and trying to set her up.
Yeah, that's what that is something that I always say as well, is that I'm not all that physically strong, but I
Uh,
know how to use my weight and my joints and stuff and momentum.
yes, yes, and that has a lot to do with what we're going to practice today as well. You asked
Okay.
me about knees, so.
Right. So what we'll do now, so do we need to warm up anything special or do we want to just go right into it?
Oh yes. Let's go with warm up. We already know for elbows. This is elbow for warm up, and I have a lot of people asking me, Johnny. I'm going to stand up. I have a lot of people asking me, how can they develop better skills or timing with their practice. So you have one hand up like this. You have your hand up like this.
Okay.
All right, and we're just going to swim. It's very simple.
Ah, okay. Do we let our because I'm so used to rolling my shoulders, do we let them roll or do we just keep them square?
You keep them square.
Okay. Okay.
When you actually striking, you would move it on its own. It will move on its own. But right
Right.
now, a lot of people who just starting up have a habit of letting that thumb out,
Hmm.
like out too far. You want your elbow to be sharp
Ah.
and
Like
diagonal
a
down.
slice.
Yes.
Okay.
So it will take a lot. It's just small like detail where like the thumb close to your chest and move.
Okay.
Of course, when you get more comfortable, and this is not for you, this is for people that might watch later and
Right.
they want to start
No,
right
it's for
now.
me
you
too.
just
Hey, it's for me too.
you just want to be relaxed, and then that warm
Do
up,
you tighten your abs?
huh?
Should your abs be tight?
Yes, you
Yeah.
want to feel your foot kind of slightly pivot.
Okay. Oh, so you
Okay.
want to go all into it, right?
Hmm. All right. It's gonna
Yeah.
cross, just like you're swimming, and we're
Yeah.
going to go backward. And that's for spinning elbow you asked about
Yeah.
a while back.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. That feels like a dance.
Oh yes, absolutely. You can have salsa in it, and you start dancing. And this
So
elbow going
so
back just like that.
we're just rolling back nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth. We
Okay.
are warming up right now. So,
Right.
we just Go
Like
back.
this is just the warm up, right?
So the first warm up is for this elbow, diagonal. Yes, that's our first warm up. The
Nice.
one we just did, the second one is for the spinning one, and you want to move your muscle and back without having to spin all the way back.
Ah,
You get your timing for that.
okay.
So you get your hip and your shoulder to move together.
Nice.
All right. And now
Right.
the easier one, you're
Hello,
going to
Daniel Hodges.
strike down really far downward.
Oh, okay, so
Carry
that's a little
forward.
bit different. That's a little different, right?
Yes. This
So,
the first one we did kind of
yeah,
angle forward. The
okay.
tips of elbow kind of angle forward. And
Like
this one here,
like a fighting stance, one foot in front of the other, right? Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right.
And
So,
this one right here is going straight downward like that. Yes, there you go. Uh, I
awesome.
use this one
Awesome.
yeah, for to kind of like get myself away from the knee strike or like the clinch when you're like disadvantage.
Okay.
All right, you if you watch traditional Muay Thai, you're going to see some downward elbows
Wow.
like that. So that's forward. It's slightly different than that one.
You like this one? Okay.
Okay, so we're going. Does everybody do this?
Okay.
This is no brainer.
We should be turning our feet a little bit. Yeah, just nice. Get those hips loose and everything too, right?
Yes, sir. And this elbow going straight across
Okay.
like that. Uh, if anyone's like, hey, I'm a kickboxer. I am not elbow, right? I can't strike elbow. Well, you can actually use this one to break out of the clinch.
Right.
So I'm not trying to start anything, but you can use
No,
that
no,
one.
that's fine. But Daniel was saying, I guess I was leaning too much with my legs.
Yeah.
Right, because you want to keep your legs in it, no doubt. I get it.
Yes. And the next one, you're going to use your hand up and just basically close your ear.
So,
Just like your sprint.
like this,
It's like your sprint. Yes, sir.
or like you're sprinting. Okay, John.
Like your sprint. Close your ear.
That is a nice warm up.
Get some upper body loosen up a little bit.
Protect yourself at all times, right? So when
Yes,
that one's
sir.
up. Okay.
Okay.
I know
All
a
right.
little bit about that.
Yes. And now, are you ready to see why is it different? You good? You got some.
Yeah, I like that.
And
Because I know a little bit about punching. Well,
uh-huh.
right now I want to talk a little bit about American style elbows, what I call American style, because I see Daniel Hodges is on, and in fact, Daniel Hodges was a guy we worked together. I guess I can call. I guess I trained him. I used to take him in deep water when I trained him. He's an undefeated fighter, and he fought full Muay Thai, and I actually trained him with elbows.
Awesome.
Now, the way I trained him was that he was already pretty good, pretty decent at it. But I
Uh-huh.
have a philosophy, and this is why I want to share my philosophy, and then I want you again to give the Thai version, okay?
Okay.
The people know I can fight. I don't think that's a question about that. But yeah, I can fight. That's just about mine. I can. All right. So, but I want to learn more. You have to humble yourself, and I'm humble to you to teach me, a little bit more about this. Okay, so the first is that what we call an American. Now, everybody doesn't call it, but this is the way I determine it because I was kind of like a transplant from the old school high kicks, boxing, right? And all,
Mhm.
and from that, I said, okay, when I started getting a little bit more into Muay Thai, again, not formally trained, right? But with the Muay Thai, given understanding that they do knees and elbows, I kind of developed my own system. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
The first punch that I could, the strike with the elbow is what I call a jab elbow. So my jab elbow is what you're gonna is where I basically go straight, just like I would jab here, right? I would take my elbow and I would step in with my body, let my elbow boom just stab right between the guard. And I never fought for a rule, but that's what I did if I was in a street fight. So that's what I call a jab elbow. What do you call that? What is the correct name for that?
So there are two different ones. If you slide forward with it, so
Stand up and forward.
said I'm staying here and I slide forward with my elbow. That's called sock pung.
Sock pung.
Sock pung.
Okay.
Yes. And if I just walk like this, kind of walk in and strike, not slide, just strike. It's called sock sap.
Ah.
It has different name for the footwork.
Oh, so it's about the footwork. So the strike, if I'm walking in, right, and if I step in, that's one thing. If I slide in, it's another.
Yes.
Ah, okay, John. Well, I'm gonna have Jonna on the back. Why don't you try that, John? Just the jab and just hit it, right? Going straight in. We'll work on it together. Hope you guys can see it. So, step in.
A disclaimer, I have never practiced elbows.
John, a little bit.
I practiced elbows once.
Right, about once or twice. Okay, here we go. That's what Crew Paul's here for.
That's a good point out. Just in case a lot of people they have never struck one elbow, right? So you want to hit with the tips of the elbow, and you just want to land one palm. So if you work on your heavy bag, this is not for Johnny, right? Johnny, I know that, but like, yeah, someone here might. When I first started Johnny, no one ever told me that you're supposed to really hit here. So I end up rub my skin on the side, or that, or that. If you rub the bottom doing that elbow, if you rub the bottom, you land too slow. Okay. You know what I mean? You land too slow because when you strike forward, the normal your body anatomy, it's going to curve up. So if you rub your skin, if you have burn on the bottom, the tip of your elbow, you have burn on the bottom, you land too slow. And if you go in forward and you rub on the side, your elbow does maybe strike on the front, but then you don't have enough control to stop right away. That's why it's rub ankle on the side. Okay. So every burn have different mistakes.
Yeah, because I had them all over. Working on the bag.
All right, let's try.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do this for how long? 45 seconds?
Let's do 30.
30 seconds.
Right.
Okay. Try with the one that slide forward.
The slide forward.
And go. 30 seconds.
Slide forward.
Going to slide forward.
Right. So just like a jab, but just say.
It's like you jab and you kind of launch it forward with it, like that.
Right, okay.
Oh.
Hey, so let me ask you a question, Paul. Do I bring it all the way to my ear, or do I have it more up like that? Or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. When I first start, it doesn't matter. When I first start, we prefer to have it here so that your arm, your elbow don't tweak too much. And when you get comfortable, you can square it up like this and strike.
Got it.
So
okay, let's go. Ready? John, step in. Come on closer.
There you go.
That look okay?
Yes.
John, go, let's go.
I don't know how to do elbows.
John, step in and just shoot it in.
Okay.
Well, you got to try. That's why we're here, okay?
Like that.
Right. That's how you learn. Go.
Okay.
So you step
That's
in,
it.
let your lead like you're throwing the throw jab. Right now, step in and shoot. Boom. Here, yeah. Right? That's all it is. Go.
Hey, you got it.
Really? Jeez. Whatever.
Okay.
So, all right. So we're gonna keep working. Right. Come
All
on.
right. Thumbs up.
Time's up.
Thumbs up. Yes, sir.
I'm just getting into it. Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
So let's having short conversation with Jenna. All right.
Okay.
So it's so great that you learn how to do that. When someone grab you, you want to have you. That's the safe one because that could form like an uppercut too.
Yeah.
All right. This one right here, it's more toward like if someone coming at you. It really doesn't matter, but you kind of just in the back of your mind, you did not do anything wrong. If you hurt yourself, yes, something is wrong, but it doesn't really matter. And when I study, my master taught me that there's rule of using elbows. One, you want to have one hand up and one hand out.
Right.
So this hand cover your face, like protecting your face. You want to see your elbow and your hand in front of your face. And this elbow, same thing. You want to see your elbow and your hand in front of your face.
Okay.
Okay.
So now the American version, right, of the cross elbow. And this is what I call it, right? So an opposite leg, right? Left leg out, right leg back, in this case, orthodox, right, is what I call, right, the cross elbow, right, where I come, right, keep it tight to your body with your lats and your shoulder, bam, and that's what I call a cross. What is it called in Thai?
Sock that.
Again,
Sock that.
soft tight, okay? Explain to me your ideas about that elbow.
So it's cutting elbow. That's what it called. It's cut short. Sock
Hi,
that,
how are you? I'm just speaking to people, yes.
like this one, right? Now, so that's sock that.
Work on it. You got to work on it. That's the only way you're gonna get better. Right. So
So when you
that's
practice,
where that exercise comes in, Coupon. Right.
and if Jenna or someone watching right now want to do speed and look cool, because a lot of people watching Johnny Davis, like, man, that technique look cool. Watching me do video, I want to look cool like that. I want to do speed elbows. Here's the trick. You want to have your hand systemize it. The lower hand is going toward inside and then force it out. Going in toward the inside and force it out.
Oh, transition.
Transition, so you can go really fast
Oh wow. Okay.
without hitting your gloves.
So you got that, John? Give it a try. Give it a try.
Yes. Okay,
So
let's
let's do it on the back now. Let's try it on the back. Get it close. Right. So we're doing like we're gonna do just basically the cross elbow. And what I call the cross elbow too, Coupon, is that it comes around like this. Now I'm gonna talk about an overhand elbow next, right?
Okay,
So this
yes.
just like a straight cross goes here, straight, right? This elbow goes
Uh-huh.
right around. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Right. So this is just a cross elbow, right?
You doing both arms?
No, just the right, just the opposite right.
Nice.
Don't turn all the way over. Hit it right with that bottom part right there. The bone. Right there. Hit it with the tip, right, Coupon?
Yes. If your pinky point outward, chances are the tips of your elbow going to be right behind that.
Okay.
So get your gloves. Yes, your pinky out and point across. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have bad elbows, I'm telling you. There you go. Hit it, John. You gotta hit it.
If I were to use,
yeah, like that. What's that, Kupal?
if I were to use weapon, it looked like this.
That's the way you would cut somebody's head off. No, I'm saying. Right.
So it looked like that.
Right.
This part right here is the sharp blade, and we all have heard of knife hand.
Yes.
It's really meant what it said. So get your elbow straight across, up toward your opponent. Nice. Okay. Let's go left, right, left, right, left, right. 30 seconds, go. Left, right. Left and right. Very nice.
Go, John, go. You go. Go. You gotta try, otherwise it's not doing any good. Get in and punch it. Hit it.
You got this. You got this. Yes.
Get in
There you
closer.
go.
Get the ball in closer. Hit it. Let's go. So a lot of people out there don't turn it over too much, but yeah.
So okay.
Time.
There you go.
Time.
You didn't do anything. We got a little comedy here today too, obviously. Okay. All right. So that is what I call like the cross. So the overhand, like an overhand right, is like this. That's an overhand right for those who. Let me see, can I get in the mirror and cheer me down? Comes over. Straight right goes here. Straight. Overhand goes here. Right? Right? So the elbow, in my language, right, is overhand. I call it an overhand elbow. Right? You follow me, Kupal?
Yes.
With your hips and your pivot and everything, right? Sure, right? So tell me teach me that in Thai.
Softy.
Sakti?
Yes.
You're gonna have to send this to me in writing. You do know that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so show me what it should look like to make sure I got it right. Okay. See that, John? Right. So shir.
Yes, sir.
Shir, right?
Yes.
Want to get a shot?
Okay. Can you do it again?
Right. So we got to pay attention. We're moving on. She is a kid, right? Well, I said almost 17, so it's time to get into it. Let's go. Shir.
Okay.
Shir. Can give it a shot, Donna.
Okay.
Are you gonna give it a shot? Hurry up, got time.
You got this.
So I have it like this.
Yes. Like, remember when we warm up earlier?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that. You already did it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, just one hand forward. One hand touch your cheek. One hand forward.
Right.
It's just that. Yes. When you get lost, you come back to this. And then you have one hand up.
Okay, that's fine. You're not going to get it. She's not going to get it all right now. So just we should go back and look at the tape and practice, right? All right.
Absolutely.
So get on the bag. You want to try it on the bag though, because I got to work 30 just in case somebody's working with us, right? So give it 30
seconds. 45 seconds. Let's practice.
No.
And almost there.
That it?
Almost there.
You want me to do that?
20 seconds.
Well, that's my hook. I haven't got to my hook yet.
Let's go. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's go, Johnny.
Ah! My elbows are burning. My elbows are gonna be all skin up. Okay, so the other one was the hook, right? Which is similar to what we were doing, but like I would throw a hook with my lead hand. Hold on, let's map this a little bit. As I throw a hook, I just turn it into an elbow. Right? Elbow, hip, and everything. That's what I call a hook elbow. Show me your version.
I call that sock rib. Sock rib is just like to just smack it out.
Okay, let me Kupal. I'm gonna put this really close to the camera. That's what happens to you when you start doing elbow. You're gonna get that lash, right?
Victory.
Yay! All right, explain that to me again. The hook.
Sock rib.
So
sock rib. It's kind of, you know how like a, what is it? The mudfish that has like a spike on the side. It's kind of moved like that. Anyway.
You're talking about telling me to work harder. Am I not working hard, Kupal?
Well, I think you work hard.
What, you think I should work hard? Okay, so finish telling me about that book.
All right.
If they would have been paying attention to the intro, it is me talking about American elbows and her teaching me the Thai elbows. Whoever might have said that, wrong person. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so you want to try that elbow real quick?
Which one? The hook one?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm putting my pivot in it, my knees, my hip, my shoulder.
Yes.
Right?
You know what would have been great too? Practice how you're going to use it. Okay, yeah. You are going to use this one. So I want to assume that my opponent kind of somewhat lower, right? So let's practice this way. I'm going to bait this guy because this elbow kind of like low.
Right.
Let's bait this guy.
Okay.
You're going to bring your knee up. Let him catch it. Let him scoop that knee.
Ah. Boom.
And smack that to the side.
Okay.
All right.
Back.
Yes. He's going to drop his head while trying to catch you in your leg. Not too much, but just a little bit, right? You're trying to scoop your knee. You swing back right away. Let's try that.
Got it.
Yes.
So we use our back.
So you hit her front leg.
Oh, front leg. It doesn't matter.
Right leg. Kick aside, left knee.
Right leg, left elbow.
Yes.
Well, that's what I said.
Yes. Yes, there you go. You bait this guy for trying to come at you.
Yeah, I'm baiting him. Oh!
You baiting him, yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay, let's go.
I need to do it quicker, don't I? I need to fake that leg a little bit quicker, right? I need to fake it a little bit quicker, right?
You have to be a little bit more dramatic when you fake something. You know, catch me, you know.
Ah. Okay.
And when you land your elbow, gonna be fast. I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Right. No, I get it. All right, so that is the hook elbow. So the other punch, obviously in boxing, right, is an uppercut, right? Uppercut punch comes from your legs, right? Or your body, shoot it. Right? So, like I said, in dirty boxing, we turn that elbow strike into an elbow. Excuse me, we turn the strike into an elbow as opposed to hitting with our knuckles, right? we just turn it into an uppercut that could go to the chin.
Two ways to do this.
Okay.
The first way is here, and you coming up.
Say that again?
The first one, you're here, and
roll and pull.
Roll and coming up. That one called sock say. Say, just like sock say.
Sock there.
Say.
Soy. Okay.
You kind of look like you smooth your hair out like this. Hey, yes, say.
Oh.
You don't really pass, but it's just this.
Hold on. Let me put some hip into it. Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? Yo.
Yes.
So when I throw that elbow strike, am I trying to stop it on the point? Like for me, I try to punch through the target. Am I trying to punch or elbow through the target?
Fantastic. Great question. That's why there are two different ones.
Okay.
This one you kind of slide through.
Okay.
Okay. And this one right here, it's going to stay there. So notice my chin, right? This elbow coming up, going straight across. And that going to pick your chin up or your nose up. There's a reason it's going here, because if you have your hand, the back of your hand to your ear, your arm is not really moving anywhere.
Right.
So here you're going. So someone clinch me. I'm breaking out this clinch, right?
Right.
Here, and all you have to do is use the back of your hand, go up and close your ear. Thrust your hip forward into it. There you go.
And pushing. So yeah, there you go. Pushing.
Yes, it's good. Bottom and up. Like you golfing.
Right. Yeah, like I golf every day. Yeah, sure.
Just an idea.
Yeah, so that angle, well, let me tell y'all something. That elbow right there, that baby's stinging right now. I got some sweat coming in it. So all you people out there want to be elbow people, let me tell you something. Woo! That burns. I burned them before out here working on it, but right now you beating me up, Coupon.
As victories brew.
Yeah. Okay, so that was like two uppercuts. So you got one is slicing and the other one is pulled straight up, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's cool. So now what so many people try to do is the spinning elbow. So before I go there, there is of course the Superman elbow. Right, where people, like that, right? And I just hit that move because that doesn't feel good at all. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, so you go up in the air and you fly, right? This is I call it a Superman elbow. That's probably not right, but I want you to tell me, what do you call that?
Gladot sock.
One more time.
Gladot sock.
Okay, all right. Just send me and I'll pronounce it. Rodney, we're not doing Pee Wee golf, by the way. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just communicating with some people as well. All right, so did I do that? Could you show me what that looks like, Coupon? Show me your version.
So the way you can do this is to have your foot up and then switch your feet in the air. All right. And then another one is to jump off the floor and strike downward.
Well, that's the 12 to 6. That's what we call it. But before we go there, go back to that what I call the Superman again. Okay, and show me how to do that again. Are you switching legs?
You switch your leg in the air to get momentum. Get that hip turned forward, get your shoulder turned forward. So bring this foot up and then kick it back.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh, my
yes.
elbow is so bad. I swear every time I hear it, I just want to cry. But I know I'm on Facebook. Do it again. Nice. Do it again. You want to try, John?
I'm going to go slow. 1, 2, slow motion.
Oh. 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 Right. Oh. 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 Right?
Yes. You know,
Almost.
look, I saw your elbow looking so great. And out of all comment I see on the side, I saw Sunny said, "Crew, let's get some ice cream."
Ah! What is that all about? Because I'm over here sweating and she want ice cream. What's up with that?
Out of all comment I see, first one I spot was, "Let's get some ice cream."
Apparently you want some ice cream, Coupon.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So let's talk about that. Go ahead. What we going to show?
No, you're good.
Okay, got it. So now you talked about the 12 to 6. Well, that's what we call it. 12 o'clock as a clock, 12 o'clock in the air down to the 6, which is mostly legal a lot here in the United States, but not so much in Thailand, right?
It's still legal. Depend on where you're landing your elbow.
Okay, so where can you land that type of elbow? I know where I want. If I do it, I don't want to hit anybody in the top of the head because that's going to hurt my elbow.
You can hit your opponent from head to toes on that elbow.
Ah.
So there were
So,
there were jumping version, and the version you're just standing there and hit said, I jump up, right? Said I hit my opponent's forehead. That's still legal, just not the back of their head.
you said it's still legal? Is it still
It
legal
is,
or illegal?
yes.
It's legal?
Legal as last time I know.
What?
Um,
Hopefully not in the United States.
not well, most elbow don't legal in United States.
Well, they're doing. I'm thinking maybe Thailand, excuse me, a lion fight. They do full wool. So I don't know if the 12, if somebody's on here and you know about lion fight rules, do they allow a 12 to 6 elbow in lion fight? That'll be a good question. But so when you come up, coming down, you said you could catch somebody like in the nose.
Of course, you're catching downward. This elbow, you have to be careful, Johnny. Sometimes they also use for clavicle. And
Ah,
and
it's always like a kick.
yes, and clavicle is not a big bone.
Right, so the hip
So
is
I can still hold on to you, right? It doesn't have to be like in Hollywood movie scene.
ah,
I can get you in the clinch here, and I just get the moment a little bit.
boom. Right, so I grab a pen and just come right down here.
Yes,
I
and
don't even have
that,
to.
and you don't have to. You get just a little bit of momentum to
Okay.
go down. If you jump, well, we have to say you're gonna be at least professional level to, and you really have to hate the guy.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
It, it
in a street fight, right?
it's no longer a sport; it's more personal at that point
Oh.
because that that's very
Yeah.
delicate bone. All right.
Ben Morrison, thank you. Ben Morrison says, good stuff, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes.
And this elbow also used when you catch somebody and you go right above their knee.
Oh.
They also use that in like a, well, even nowadays you catch and you just go right above the knee. It's a tendon just right above your knee, that when you get hit so many times, you can't really
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
It's a little soft spot right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I hit
And
that when I was fighting for my first world title. The guy, Alvin Crowder, right, bent down like this. And if you can see it, it's on YouTube, Johnny Davis versus Alvin Crowder. And like the fourth round, and he bent down, and he bent down. I was going up with a kick, and that soft part of that knee caught him right on the forehead. And I had to take all of that 5 minutes to recover. It was, and after that, I won the fight, by the way, right? I won that first world title. It was a 12-round fight. I won it, welterweight, PKA. But I left the fight in a wheelchair. I went back to the airport in a wheelchair, and my leg was like this big. It was like, it's the truth. I mean, everybody, and then he also gave me a black eye in the fight. Listen now, this is a little fun story. I had a black eye. I was kind of swollen. I was in a wheelchair with one leg stuck out, coming through the airport, and they said, "Hey, what happened to him?" He said he just won a world title. They said, well, "I hate to see the other guy." Right. What you're saying is that if we take that same elbow and put it down on the knee, that can be very effective.
I wouldn't say it really depends on your skill, Johnny. It really is. Like, how well do you set it up, and how well can you control that elbow? Because a lot of people that you never use it get sloppy. How often do you practice that elbow to land firm in one spot, right?
You don't even know what you just did. You just said chop. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool.
So,
but one of the things I notice, like when people are working the clinch, right, they're not necessarily trying to do a 12-6, right, but they cheat by trying to block with they're putting their elbows right in the top of that knee so the person will stop kneeing, and that's called cheating.
No. Okay.
It's cheating and point Muay Thai.
Yes.
Yeah, you're trying to hurt somebody.
Yes, exactly. So that then is not hard to do too. All you have to do is you just tweak to side, and there go your elbow.
Right.
And a lot of time when people see this, they see like Tony Jaa elbows, where like you're flying from above down.
Right.
No, it can start from clinch, and they just tweak to the side and just land elbow to your to the top of your above your knee.
Don't you think?
Sorry?
You don't think that's cheating? I guess not in the pros. I guess anything goes in the pros, right?
Yes.
But you can't just elbow somebody in the legs, though, can you? If you're down there, can you just drop down and hit somebody, elbow them in the legs?
Just in case. Oh, that's a good question. I do have techniques that I could share. When you get into, I would say, is a last result. Okay. It's for the last result. This is how my opponent get my head down, right? Get my head down, and I cannot clinch my way up. I cannot pull myself back, right? What you gonna do next? You try to catch the leg. You just need to get out of here. You're back at the corner. So what you can do is to form spin elbows from there. And to form spinning elbow, you have to clear the side where you're gonna walk to. I'm going to go to my right. I'm going to have this elbow here, stop and jam down so that elbow can go back up. See what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So that leads us right into the next elbow, which is the spinning elbow. So when I think about the spinning elbow, I think about, like, we have the spinning back fist, right? Right? I don't know if you saw that, but we have a spinning back fist. So what I actually did was keeping it tight to your body, and the same elbow turns into, right, the spinning elbow. So, but I noticed you went like another angle with it. So tell me, give me your idea. First, tell me the name, and then give me your version of the spinning elbow.
Most of them call sock clap, which spinning is backward. It's translated as backward elbow. And there are different ways to do that. But how I practice and I like to use personally, odd palm, there are two ways to do that. So I'm staying here, right? You step your front, your lead foot to the side just a little bit.
Wow.
Allow that hip to really turn and come back.
So I noticed that you are kind of coming, you're kind of like an angle like down
Uh-huh.
as opposed to around. The two
Um,
different types.
both, correct. So it's going for this one going straight back, like we warm up earlier, and the one curve down.
I don't do that. I don't practice that one.
Yes, so that very common one. It looks like really big right now, but when you actually do it, it's pretty small. It's very like a small, your elbow tucked in close to your body, and you just
Okay.
yes. So here, side, and well, I have to be on the other side. There you go. So it looked like big if I swing like this and go backward, but when you actually do it, it's very small. It's very
one of the things that I notice, like when people do spinning back pass, sometimes they let the punch be ahead of their body. I've always talked about how your body, your shoulders need to be locked all at the same time. You know, your shoulder, everything goes, you land it, watch it go square, boom, as soon as it lands, everything is locked. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, so your shoulder is moving with each other.
Yes, so it's moving with each other. Turn and then lock.
Right.
And it really depends on how you want to set up. I never like the idea personally to turn my back against my opponent twice. So even though I don't walk far, right? I just pivot out to the side just a little bit and then turn. I
Okay,
think
I'm
that's
comments, and I'm trying to read them all. But go ahead. You can go ahead, Kupal.
Oh, okay. So when you try to come back from here, I never feel comfortable
No, the other way.
to spin back and reset. What I usually do is come over here and use the same hand that I just elbow to reach out and push my opponent away.
Okay, that makes sense.
In one momentum. So here and then just reach it out and make sure just like your skill, just like boxing, just use that. So from here, right? And use that shoulder, cover your face.
Right.
So and
Boom, boom.
yes. The next one is so this one right here straight across and the one that go over, it's kind of long range. It's weird, but it's kind of long.
The one that
Both of them.
okay.
Compared to said if my opponent I stand in front of another person, right? These two are more likely I will be execute the elbow. But if my opponent got me in the clinch or grab a hold of me, that elbow is not gonna work. But you got the whole village here, supporting you, and you just want to do something cool, right? And you're going to pull this technique off real quick. And so you're staying here. This is the short range one. Instead of like spin backward like that, you're just here and you're just going back.
That's different. So you're coming more like up, like this, and just at an angle.
Yes.
Right, that's water. You can't see it.
No,
There's
and
no photograph.
that's very up close. The first two was that we are here and we spin back, right? It's not big of a gap. It's still very fast. You saw some epic knockout with those. All right.
Yes.
But this one right here, to stay on the side, I just trying to get the angle where you can see my arm never tweak away from the body. It just
Right.
and it just going back.
Right. I get that. I get
Now, when someone want to practice this, understand this real quick. It's not flexibility. Just in case Jenna want
right.
to practice, it's not flexibility. When you have your hand back, there's no way you can get your hand more go further than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the far I can go. Notice the TV stance and my elbow, but then you have to move your head and roll forward to angle it up. And
Right.
the elbow suddenly get more flexible.
Right, because that's the work you would do in close range.
Yes.
If somebody attacks you, maybe what you just boom. Well, I get that. I get that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're right at an hour right now. So we want to take maybe the next 10 minutes, right? And we want to go to the knees. This has been, by the way, this has been so extraordinary, great, Krupal. You're so knowledgeable. I just want to say this is you're right now watching Johnny Davis Live, a special edition of elbow strikes and knees with the one and the only assistant grand master Krupal. She's out of New Bern, North Carolina, there with her 9-limb strikers. Before we go into the knees, you have a really interesting story, Krupal, about why you call your club 9 limbs as opposed to 8 limbs, as most traditional Muay Thai clubs call their clubs.
Well, it wasn't something that I made up back in Sukhothai era. So Sukhothai, Ayutthaya, and we become Siam and then Thailand. Back like few hundreds of years ago, we have different language, and we write different way, and how people call things are also different. The fighting arts that we are learning and protecting the countries, it's signs of 9. It's 9 weapons. As
the ninth weapon is
the 9th is your head. It's kind of more spiritual. It's represent your spirit. It's represent something that God or the Creator made us, that we different than other animal, right?
okay.
So that make us different. And if we are not talking about belief or spiritual, we can also see people said knowledge is power, knowledge is tool, and that's going back to your head.
So
So
that
I,
so that
I
ninth limb is basically your spirit, your mind, your soul, your car, your bar, if you want to go into ancient history and all of
yes,
that, correct?
yes.
That's
So
interesting. Also, we want to thank our sponsors, Blackout Fight Gear, for all the great gear and all of what they do for us. Blackoutfights.com, guys. We want to appreciate that. You can check that out on the website and also on my website, akpromotions.org. You can also find out more from Krupal at Krupal Muay Thai right there on Facebook. This young lady gets hundreds of thousands of views on some of the posts. I wish you had that bag so you can show me that flying knee. Before we go into the well, we're getting ready to do the knees right now. So let's talk about that. Let's just go ahead and roll right into the knees. So now, again, with me, I'm simple with knees. There's just for me a straight knee that goes straight to the body, and to get power, you use your hip. You use your hip in there, right, as well as coming up on your toes, and you can get even more power. So it's more like a stab, like that, into the body. And then there's the knee where I would go like to somebody's chin if I want to do that, where I would go straight up and on my toes even get more height and more in my hip to hit them like in the chin. I need you to give me the version of that straight knee, I call it, here in American style.
may I show you the knee forms?
Please.
Okay. This thing called เข่าตรง it's going straight.
Okay. Right.
This thing called เข่าเฉียง เข่าเฉียง
Okay.
It's straight, but it's diagonal straight.
Got it.
เข่าตัด
That's the one. Is
It's
that
like
going
this
around?
high. Yes, it's to knee somebody's like above the knee to lock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
เข่าตีเข่าตี to curve
Ooh.
and come sideways.
So here's part of the problem. Part of the problem is clearly you have great flexibility still. And your knee is almost going over your head.
It's camera angle.
I am old. My knee is not going that high anymore. That's not the way that works. But I get the idea to bring it up and around.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. When we were talking about striking with that knee, what we were talking about with the elbow, are we trying, and this is a real, I've had this question for a long time. Now, common sense in my martial arts background tells me I should be hitting with the bone. But am I correct?
Not necessary. You can hit with the side of your knee.
Okay, like here?
Yes. That's hurt too. You can hit with the front toward top of the knee.
Uh-huh.
And you can hit to the front. And you can hit a little bit below.
Okay.
Overall, it depends on what are you hitting. What kind of circumstance are you landing your knee?
What kind of surface?
Yes.
Yeah.
Said, you see this all the time where like there's this guy get you in a clinch and he kind of lock your knee like that, right? So he locked across your legs.
Right.
So the curve knee that I just did is to straw back and swing over.
Wow.
See? And that you get more toward either the side of your knee.
Yeah, I was worried about that because my brain kind of tells me that I was trying to turn the bone of the knee, see, in there. But what you're saying, I don't necessarily have to turn it all the way over. I can also do that.
Yes, I think whoever watching right now, right, have that one time where you're just standing there and like doing your thing and you got hit unexpectedly and it's knocked the wind out of you.
Right. So you're saying, in the contract here, my daughter Donna, right? So if I would lift my knee up and I could tap it from the inside, which I see a lot of guys do that because I referee a lot of point Muay Thai.
Uh-huh.
Boom, and they tap on the inside of that knee. They're tapping that soft area right there. But if they were trying to do that to somebody's head, that would hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
And I show this to my students before. I'm sorry for long interview. I really love sharing it.
People are online. You got comments saying, "Us, very good." Another said, "Love it, thank you." You know, people are like, "I like this one today." Oh, look, I like this one today. Like the other days you don't like, Rodney. Thanks. Anyway, but people are loving this. They're liking this. A lot of people at home. This is our COVID-19 special workout with Assistant Grandmaster Crew Paul. Hope you guys all really indeed join it. We'll be enjoying it. It will also be uploaded to my YouTube channel, Johnny Davis Live, and I'm sure it's going to be on Crew Paul's YouTube channel, which gets hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. Anyway, as you were, Crew Paul, what were you saying?
Yes, I want you to try this real quick. Said, that knee not gonna hurt. It's coming from the side, you know, it's not the bones.
Right.
But when you hit someone, when they tilt sideways in weird angle, but after this pandemic over, you can try with your partner too. They don't have some good abs, you know. Tilt sideways. People cannot hold their core sideways. That's why you have to tweak them.
Well, I was going to say that. Wow. So by pulling them in or pulling them into it gives you even more power.
Yes. So it's not the bones, the power. It's hitting this guy where like he caught him off guard where he cannot press his muscle.
Right, yes.
So and the next one is the straight knee. All knee are the same, but I would like to show the straight knee real quick.
Okay.
The straight knee is very straightforward, right?
Right.
And there are difference between I would say with long range and close range.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to say thrust forward like that.
Yes.
You thrust forward. There are two different ways to do that.
Okay.
There, thrust forward like this, and there, thrust forward like that.
Oh.
They have different names.
Okay.
So this is the first one, and this is the second one.
Nice.
It's also knee. So ha, like that.
Would you kind of have their hand do anything, or would they be charging into you to maybe do that? It kind of reminds me of a sidekick.
Yes, it's kind of like here. If I look straight at you, I bring up and then I thrust to the side.
Yeah, I feel the mechanics of that. Yeah, because I hit you straight up with your femur, all right, and there's nothing gonna stop it. It's like a straight boom, like a bone.
Yes.
Right.
When someone see this and want to practice, it's simple, but just keep in mind you want your foot to stay lower than your knee.
Okay,
Your knee
right.
can go high, but some people are really flexible. Your foot want to stay a little bit lower than your knee, so that way you can reset faster. So there are two different ones. Oh, go back to your question. So straight knee versus straight knee. I thrust my knee forward, that's a straight knee.
Right.
Opponent right in front of me. Of course, right? And the next one, I kind of press this guy's head down a little bit. I am in control.
Right.
And this has to be my most knockout knees. And I knock my opponent tooth out on my second fight with
Are
this
you pulling your head down?
So the ankle of the knee is going straight upward like that.
Okay, right. And you're pulling them right down. Okay.
Yes. So you have seen like a traditional Muay Thai where the knee and the other guy kind of bounce up in the air. So they are straight knees.
Right.
There's a straight knee that going like an uppercut.
Yes.
And there's also straight knee that going like a cross, like
right.
This one going forward. This one
I call that like a stab knee, like stabbing.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense?
Yes.
That's what I call it. That's my American way, right? So one of the other things too about the knees, and you talked about, was the jump knee, right? And you have a lot of. I wish you were at your club so that you could do that technique on the bag. All right, so show us the basic jump knee. Go ahead.
So the first one, just like same setup as elbows. So you bring this knee up, this leg up, and you switch your feet in the air.
Ooh, okay. Because listen, in karate or kickboxing, we have a switch leg front kick. Front kicks. So it's kind of okay. So the same thing is just with the knee.
Yes.
Let's see you do it. Let's see you do it.
Here.
Oh.
One more time.
Oh, nice. Okay, so another question is, should your toes be pointing to the ground or should they be up like that? You can't hardly see my foot because I got that bottom scroll. Let me go back.
Oh, you mean like this and like this?
Should they be like this or should why? Does it matter?
It's your option. I prefer to know both.
Yeah. I've heard someone say if your foot is bent like that, like up, that if somebody catch it with a kick, they can break your ankle.
It's two side of the coin,
Yeah.
right? If you kick, right, you know how like you can adjust this, so you don't really hold your leg there,
Right.
right? And at the same time, yes, that could break your ankle. That could
Yeah.
someone could kick you and hit that foot,
Right.
right?
Right.
And the guy that said you have to flex your foot. Why is that? Because if you drop your foot, you can get sharp kick just right there.
Right. That hurts too. Yeah. That hurts a lot too.
And
You
both
know,
guys,
yeah, this has been outstanding.
and
I
both guys were right.
huh?
For like the flex foot
Yes.
and then the drop foot, both guys are right.
Right. So it can work. It can work in different ways. I guess it all depends on the fighter and everything like that too. Well,
Yes.
Cool Paul, you know what? This has been good. It took us a lot. We've taken about 2 or 3 hours of our time today to get this right. But
Uh-huh.
based on some of the comments and everything, I think people overall really enjoyed it. And we don't want to give it all away. We don't want to give it all away. I want you to know that Kru Paul is available for seminars. She has a Bring Thailand to You seminar that she does, that you don't have to go to Thailand to learn this stuff. Not right now, but after all of this is over, if you want to bring her to your club to do a seminar, you can certainly give us a call. I say us, but the information is on the website at akpromotion.org. Of course, you can contact her too, and she'll pass you on to somebody else. I wonder who that is. But she does a great job. As you can see, she is loaded with so much information. And I think that it's the kind of knowledge that a lot of people are looking for in the sport of Muay Thai. If you guys have enjoyed this, I appreciate you dropping some more comments on there, letting Kru Paul know how much you enjoyed her and the knowledge that she dropped today. Kru Paul, let everyone know how they can contact you if needed.
Yes, absolutely. If a seminar, you can contact Johnny Davis and can also go to akpromotion.org. And for me, you can contact me on Nine Limb Strikers website, Facebook, and I also have online class. Another website that called crewpaulmuaythai.com.
Yes.
That just for online class. But if you're interested to like build program and get seminar and get me to help you with let me help you building your curriculum. I wouldn't say I'm gonna go and teach.
Right.
Like like get help a little bit, maybe something I know that can help you out. Contact Johnny Davis.
Yeah. This has been an absolute pleasure. You are a true champ. We're going to do something like this again, okay? I think that people really enjoyed it because my goal, again, I'm an advocate for the sport of Muay Thai / kickboxing. Fight sports. I love boxing as well. That is what I do, and I have great people like Kru Paul, Chris Clodfelter, and all these other people out there who I want to showcase to my audience and let people know that, hey, these are things that these people are learning that they can teach you and that they can enhance your skills. So, Kru Paul, you are a champ. I want to thank you so much for coming on today, okay?
Thank you. I'm glad.
I'll talk to you soon. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it there. We were speaking with Kru Paul. She's an assistant grand master there, guys. I'm telling you right now, she's absolutely extraordinary. I want to thank all of you guys for joining in today. We appreciate your comments and everything. Again, it's about being open to learning. Yes, I'm a 6th-degree black belt. Yes, I'm a 2-time world champion. But you know what? She taught me things today I did not know. You have to be open for learning. I don't care how confident you are, whatever. Some might even say arrogant. I don't think, like maybe a little. You have to be a little. You can't go in the ring with no confidence. But the fact that I wanted to humble myself today to her so she could teach me, and I'm going to continue to work on this knowledge, stuff like that. So I hope that you guys also learned something today. and that you will be practicing in your gym. Again, this will be uploaded to YouTube on my YouTube channel, Johnny Davis Live. Remember also to join us tomorrow at 12 noon. We'll be speaking with Mr. Eric Parker, who is a great volunteer with the COVID-19 virus going on right now, who's a former champion, undefeated fighter, really a successful businessman, and I'm sure he's going to be dropping some great knowledge for you right here on Johnny Davis Live at 12 o'clock on tomorrow. Listen, I want you guys to always take care of each other. Look out for your loved ones. Wash your hands. If you can, social distance. I think that's the right way to go right now. Always, guys, forward march. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.